Hello, everybody. My name is Darya Hajian. I'm in your literacy class. Obviously, you probably wouldn't be looking at this link. I'm kind of funny too, so in case you don't pick up on some of my sarcasm, it's all humorous, fun, and games. Yeah, I'm pretty funny. Uh, anyways, so today we're going to discuss my autobiography with a literacy emphasis. So we're focusing on the literacy aspect of how I've developed, I guess. I could sit here and read my whole article to you, and I know you would love it. You'd just be reading everything as I'm saying it, like, oh yeah, lovely. But no, because I wouldn't want that. So please, if anybody's doing that, I'm not going to discredit you. You're probably amazing. But that's not what you're going to get from me. What you're going to get from me is pretty down to earth. I'm going to talk about how I came to terms with literacy. So growing up, for me, it was always you were literate if you were rich and white. Obviously, I wasn't white, and growing up, I wasn't rich, and I'm still not. I wish I had some money. But anyhow, I guess I kind of developed that term coined that way of thinking because of some of the education that they gave us about how certain people were removed from voting because they couldn't read the registration and all that, and a lot of times it was to deter minority groups and poorer people. So with that, I decided, well, if you're not rich and white, you can't read and write, right? But obviously that's not right. So for me, that's always what I correlated literacy, because the literate test, I've always thought I was illiterate, kind of. So growing up, in my autobiography, I wrote about how when I was a kid, my mom, she probably could have had more patience, and we've talked about it since, and she says, yeah, I'm sorry, Darya, I probably should have had a little more patience. I'm sorry I did that to you. But whenever we'd sit down to read, she would say, no, you're not even trying. You need to try. She'd give me some letters that are in a book, and I'm like, oh, that's a B. And she's like, well, sound it out. And I'm like, t. And she's like, what are you saying? And I'm like, token. No, you just said but. So it never made sense. And she kind of just was like a really hard-working single mom. And she probably was a little fed up because there was 3 of us and we were rascals. Big old rascals. So she didn't have the most patience with me. I was the baby of her children. So I guess maybe that was kind of a short end of the stick. Maybe it wasn't. But anyhow, I went to school. While I was in school, the education system, I mean, it could have improved or been better, I believe. So I'm in classes, and they didn't focus on who I was as an individual. They focused on, could you read or could you not? And obviously it was hard for me to do it at home, so how would it be easier at school if nothing was different? Could you read, could you not? I sat down with teacher after teacher and obviously couldn't read still, so I was like, whatever, I don't need to read. I'll find something else in this life. I'll be a worker the rest of my life. That was probably, 2nd grade? I had no idea what I was doing with my life. I just knew I couldn't read, and I thought it was because I wasn't white and I wasn't rich. So one day my brother brings home this stack of maybe 6 books, and they were fat, novel-looking books, and I'm like, whoa, that's weird. And on the front page, it had this big, fat, giant baby, and he's wearing his diaper and a red cape. Jordan, my brother, why do you have this? This is weird. So everybody goes to sleep, and I'm like, what is in that book? There's 6 of them with a big, giant, naked baby. He has a diaper, but I need to figure this out. So I went while everybody was asleep. I grabbed a book. I laid in bed, and the light beamed in through the window, the street light, and I'm turning it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I actually was starting to read. I guess I kind of taught myself how to read. I mean, I'm sure somebody formulated the ideas in my brain, and I just kind of emulated it as I found this book engaging. I really have no idea what the books are about nowadays. I know it was, I don't want to spoil it for any of you guys, so I probably won't even tell you. But it was Captain Underpants, if anybody didn't guess that. Why would you? It was a pretty good book, I think, because it got me to read. A little girl reading Captain Underpants. That's embarrassing. Anyways, it's kind of funny, too. Like I said at the beginning, I'm funny. So, for me, that was like a point where I was like, oh, I'm literate, I can read. But I'm just not as smart as the rest of the kids because I'm reading Captain Underpants, you know? I could be reading an encyclopedia right now if I was really that smart. But after that, I decided I'll be alright in school. I won't be terrific, I won't be amazing, but I'll be alright. And I found out that I was really good in math. I mean, you choose one or the other, I guess. Maybe the super geniuses choose both, but I obviously didn't have a lot of money, so I got to work around that by factoring like numbers and doing all kinds of stuff. If I break this down, I'll get this and that, and I can resell this later to this kid because he wants it. And, you know, you just found a way. Whenever it came to not having it, you found a way with numbers. So not having money, in case that didn't make sense, because it probably didn't. After that, I got into this class. Okay, boom, fast forward. You know, I went to school. Obviously, everything was good. I got into this class and I formulated a whole new idea. Literacy isn't just about reading and writing. It's about more than that. It's about the students' engagement into an activity, and if they're not engaged, they're not going to learn it. So obviously, with the Captain Underpants, I was pretty engaged, and that's how I became one with the reading and writing portion of literacy. I think I can be a pretty good teacher understanding that, you know, try to engage students. They don't have to do 1 + 1 to get to 2. They can just grab an apple and it'll bring it together, you know. Some people learn that way, some people don't. You gotta keep them engaged.